There were some surprises in my trip to Cuba, and I feel like if these things were not actually surprises, the trip would have been better. So here I am to tell you about all of them. Let's go. Good evening. This is Fatih Tutunjan coming to you actually from Beirut, Lebanon. I'm sitting at one of the coolest cafes I could find. It's called Rawa, which means chill, and it is very rawa and chill. And I see it open late night, and there's so many people having fun. And tonight there's actually stand-up comedy that I will try to attend. But now I'm here to have some lunch, makdous, Lebanese. I think this is muhammara. We have cucumbers, tomatoes, and I'm really excited to dig in. And while I do that, I wanted to kind of give you a little recap of my trip to Cuba before we end that series, and then we're gonna jump into the Syria series, which I'm editing as we speak, and then we have some fun episodes from Lebanon. So let's get started on some of the things that shocked me in Cuba. So hopefully this video will help you not get as shocked. Oh, also let me show you quickly around where I'm sitting so you have a visual of where I'm sitting as I tell you about all of this. I'm actually sitting at the bar. When I'm doing solo travel, I like to sit at the bars and eat my food by myself. And yeah, it's right now, it's a little bit empty-ish, but towards the nighttime, it will get really, really busy. Okay, let's get started without further ado on Cuba. So the first thing that shocked me about Cuba was the fact that I think we always take for granted that every place should have Wi-Fi. And I forgot that actually in the resorts in Cuba, there is no free Wi-Fi that's available within the rooms. So if you would like to purchase Wi-Fi, that is an option. For $2, you can get 10 hours of Wi-Fi, and for 25 pesos, Cuban pesos, you get 1 hour. So that's an option to keep in mind. You can turn it on and off when you're using it. When you're done using it, turn it off so the hours don't count. And then you can probably use it for the week that you're staying there based on how much you will be using. If you're looking to exchange money, you can exchange the time that I was there, which was the end of 2023. For $1, you can get 160 pesos. So they do accept US dollars to exchange for the Cuban pesos. They also accept Canadian dollars. The one thing that they may not accept is Canadian coins, because in the Canadian currency there is the $1 and the $2 coins. Shout out to my Canadians, toonies and loonies. You guys know what I'm talking about. The reason why they don't accept these is because their banks don't accept them. And if you do end up using the coins to tip them, at the end of your trip, you will notice that the bus that takes you back to the airport, they will make announcements if people can change, you know, unchange maybe, because what they will do is they will put like 10 toonies, 10 $2 coins together, and they will ask if someone can change it to a $20 bill. So they can actually go to the bank and use that money. Otherwise, they can't use it, and that's why they will not accept it a lot unless you're giving a tip. When it comes to excursions, I actually made a full video on the excursion that I took to Havana, and the way I booked it was actually online before I got there, which would have been easier because I got to pay with a card and didn't have to worry about having that cash with me. I will include the link in the description. It's through Sunwing Vacations, same place where I booked my flight and the resort and everything in that place. So what I do recommend is actually booking the excursions beforehand. It was a little bit more expensive than I thought it would be compared to excursions that I take in other places in the world. However, it's worth to go out there because it's not as easy to do that on your own, to go from one city to the next. So it's best to go with an excursion where the guide tells you where to go and what you're seeing, what you're looking at. And also there is a pickup included from the hotel and back to the hotel. So it just makes all the transportation much easier. I'm going kind of like all over the place with the order, but the official language is Spanish. If you do know Spanish, great. If not, everybody speaks English. They're used to tourism, rum, sugar canes and cigars are the main export or the main income of the country. Because tourism is a big thing in Cuba, most of them do speak English, so no worries if you don't know Spanish. I don't know Spanish and I was totally fine. This is a hack. So if you are going to Cuba, bring a tumbler with you or a travel mug. The reason why I say this is because there are open bars in the resort that are open 24 hours, or some that are not open 24 hours, but it's open bar, so you can take as many drinks as you want whenever you want. And the best way to keep them cold and with you, and you can even take it up to the room. You cannot take up the glasses up to the room, but if you do bring a tumbler, you can just give them the tumbler. They can put water in it, they can put cocktails in it, whatever you want to drink, even coffee, and you can take it up to your room with you, because sometimes you just want to chill in the room, go on the balcony, look at the resort, or even take it to the beach with you, and that actually comes in very, very handy. So this is a hack that is not a must, but I really think it would be useful if you guys do that. Given the economical situation in Cuba, and specifically after 2020, there has been a lot of shortages of supplies. So even if you are going to an all-inclusive hotel or a resort, there is very much possibility that there will be missing things. For example, shampoos, toilet paper, even towels and whatnot. So if there are certain things that you require with you, these types of, you use a specific shampoo, or even, if you use a shampoo, take that with you. A lot of the actual all-inclusive flights that you're booking with Sunwing, they don't include a luggage, but there is a carry-on that you can take with you. So maybe bring a smaller bottle of shampoo, or if you want to end up purchasing a luggage, that works too. Maybe if you are very sensitive to food, bring some canned foods with you, and any type of medication that you require, including if you need band-aids, like little first aid kit stuff, bring it with you, because you will not find it there easily, specifically not at the resort. I personally had a food poisoning situation over there, and there was no medication for me to take, so I just kind of wrote it out, but it wasn't a big serious thing. But anyway, if you do require medication, things like that, think about those beforehand and bring them all with you. Don't expect them to have it at the resort. When I went back in 2000, and I think it was 18 or 17, they actually had a little first aid section within the resort, but this time that didn't exist anymore. So keeping that in mind. So when you're booking an all-inclusive trip, that includes the pickup and the drop-off from the airport. So even if your flight is at night, which was the case in my case, yep, and my flight was at night, but the hotel checkout was at 12 p.m., they do allow you to stay within the resort for that duration of 7 hours that you're waiting for the bus to pick you up and bring you to the airport. And they leave the wristband with you, so you can still use all the utilities. You can eat, you can drink, you can use the beach, like benches and everything. No problem. You can stay in the resorts. That was something that I was kind of like questioning. And when I arrived there, I asked them, and they were really, really nice about it. So that's something they will let you do. They will not just kick you to the street and let you wait for the bus. So that's really good. One thing that I kind of forgot, and kind of surprised myself that I forgot about this, is that when you're thinking you're going on an all-inclusive vacation, even if you booked your excursion online beforehand, you think that you will not need any cash when you arrive there. However, that's not the case, because other than the fact that if you will or not buy souvenirs, which you will require cash for, the other thing is tips. In Cuba, tips are a big thing, like even at the resort, the bartenders, the servers. If you go anywhere, if there's musicians, even on the excursions, they ask for a lot of tips. And if that's something you would like to partake in, keep in mind to bring some cash with you for the tips. You end up becoming friends with the workers in the hotel, in the resort, and you want to kind of reward them for the work that they're doing for you. They have really good service, and they work wholeheartedly, so you want to kind of reward them for that. So make sure you have enough cash for tips. And now let's move to the airport. A couple of things that I want to mention about the airport. When you first arrive on the plane, they will provide you with some sort of a visa form. Make sure to keep that until you leave the country. So keep that with you. At the entry, they might take it from you. If yes, great. If not, keep it with you. That's something that you need. Don't throw it out because it's a paper. They give it to you on the plane. On the plane itself, there's a duty-free on your way back. So if you want to purchase certain things, that's an option as well that you can do on the plane. before you go to the airport, when you're leaving Cuba, make sure to kind of spend all the pesos that you exchange, maybe give them as a tip or whatever the case may be, because at the airport, you cannot use Cuban pesos. So they will not accept. If I wanted to buy a bottle of water, they only took dollars, Canadian or US dollar. That was not a problem, but they did not take Cuban pesos. So I ended up bringing some change of Cuban pesos with me to Canada, which I couldn't do anything with that. So make sure to kind of plan accordingly and use them there. If you are planning to bring a lighter or cigar cutter thingy, like the circle things, with you, they will let you bring it into the country, but when you're leaving and you're going through security at the airport, they will take them away from you. Even though I found it interesting that they actually sold it at the airport after you cross security. So don't bring anything too expensive because they will take it away. So lighters and cigar cutters. I think that's it for all the notes that I had. Keep those in mind. Let me know if you have been there, if there's any other hacks or tips or anything that you want to include in the comments, and I will pin it so everybody can see. And I hope if you're planning to go to Cuba that you have the best time. I hope the weather will be good and you enjoy the beach. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.